problem. They didn't give them anything.
Brilliant game at the London Stadium. 3 apiece it finishes then between West Ham and Arsenal. It's a curtailed match week, of course, so that's 3 of the 4 games played. Leeds got their first win in 4 away to Fulham to harm their survival hopes. 2-1 finish to Leeds. Brighton with a big win against Newcastle United, 3-0 in the end to Graham Potter's side. 3 apiece in the end between West Ham and Arsenal, and there's a huge game still to come today between 2 sides involved in the race for Europe. Aston Villa against Tottenham. In the end then, West Ham unable to go level on points with 4th place Chelsea. They're 2 points behind Thomas Tuchel's side. They've now both played the same number of games. Arsenal are up to 9th as a result of that point. They are on 42 points. They're 7 points behind the Hammers in that final European place. At the bottom end, well, Fulham unable to capitalise by picking up a win to close the gap on Newcastle United after Newcastle's thumping defeat 24 hours ago. So Fulham remain 2 points behind Newcastle and safety. But some breathing space as far as Brighton are concerned. That win for them takes them 6 points clear of the bottom 3.
Well, Alexander, a hell of a game, a brilliant comeback, not the 3 points in the end, but how would you assess that?
My feeling is mixed between proud of my team because we came back in the second half and disappointed with the first half we did, 30-35 minutes where we didn't respect the game plan from the coach and free goal for them. So this is not what we wanted, but we have to think about it in 2 weeks.
2 potential goals for you. The first one ruled as an own goal in the end, but you got your one in the end, the second goal, and it was the equaliser. It was an important one, wasn't it?
Well, I think the first goal is mine.
It was given as an own goal, unfortunately. Sorry about that.
That's not nice, but yeah. At the end I scored the second goal, the third goal in the second half. We come back for the draw.
How much credit does Callum Chambers deserve for his impact in the game today?
A lot of credit because he came back from a big injury. He worked a lot in training, individual as well. And when he have some time from the coach, he showed that he deserves to play for Arsenal. So I'm really happy for him, and I hope the best for him for the season.
You said you didn't respect the game plan from the coach. Why did we see that today?
I don't know, maybe we had the pressure because we knew it was a big game. This is where we have to improve as well. So yeah, we have to work a lot about this to be ready for the end of the season.
Is it frustrating as well, those goals that came in quick succession for West Ham in the first half? A couple of those opportunities where perhaps the team weren't fully switced on? Yeah,
really disappointed, and it's really complicated when we do this kind of game, this kind of different half time. So we need to, like I said, we need to work a lot to improve for the end of the season.
Did you feel there were a couple of opportunities as well? One for you where you felt pulled back?
Yeah. I think even with the bad first half we did, we could come back and score more. But this is football. We can't be perfect. We have to still work a lot every day in training to win this kind of game.
Interesting admission, actually, from Lacazette there, talking about how the players hadn't respected the coach's wishes in that first half performance. No,
I don't think he means not respect. I think that's just his translation and the way he's translated. I think that he was more saying that they just didn't execute the game plan, whatever the boss asked for them to do. And you could see that in the first 30-35 minutes, like he said. Arsenal were nowhere near it, and it was a testament to West Ham that they did punish them. They took the chances when the chances came. You could see, especially with the second goal. But in the end, I think that the character that they showed was magnificent. Chambers, Martin Odegaard, somebody that they do need to make sure that they make that signing if they can. Yeah. Because he really did come to the fore today.
It was chalk and cheese from Arsenal, wasn't it, to the first half performance?
Amazing. Well, sometimes as a manager, I just said that he didn't make no changes at half-time, but sometimes as a manager, you go in and go, well, look, listen, you got us in this mess. I'm giving you 10 minutes to get us out of it, or, you know, give us a bit of a chance of getting out of it. And I think that because it was 3-1, you often hear 2-0 as a difficult scoreline. Well,
is it, though?
Well, because you don't know whether to stick or twist here. You know, you don't know whether to go for it. And mentally, I think, West Ham dropped off. And as Ian said, Odegaard got on the ball, and he was fantastic. You know, there's lots of talk about him, but he actually drove Arsenal back into that game.
You spoke about that before the game, how he's becoming a growing influence.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, what you want to see from him is a player that has got unbelievable potential and ability. And you want to see him in a game like that where, you know, he's going to be in the meat and bones of a game where he's got to pick the ball up and does what he does. He wants the ball and he plays it. He's very efficient with it. And he done it in a game where Arsenal needed it. We needed to be able to get the ball into somebody who can keep it in that area, get the movement off of him. And like we saw in so many occasions, he chose the right pass. Fantastic play today.
Alan, one observation you made, at half-time, considering Arsenal were second best for much of the first half, Mikel Arteta, interestingly, decided not to make any changes. Yeah. Does he deserve credit for that now?
Yeah. I think sometimes, you know, you can be rash. He could have gone and made 3 changes. He could have took anyone off, couldn't he? Except Lacazette.
Yeah.
He could have took anyone off because they were so bad, wasn't they, in that first half, defensively and going the other way. It was just... I've never seen an Arsenal team play that bad, you know, for 30 minutes. Yeah. But they got that important goal, didn't they, which gave them a little bit of a lifeline. And as I said, he's probably said, look, you've got us in this mess. You go out there and you've got 10 minutes, unless I'm bringing people on. Yeah. And he got the response. Because they dominated the second half.
They certainly did. Yeah, it was almost virtually from kick-off to the second half. Lacazette.
Because of what's happened for West Ham in that game, you can't get that decision wrong. So, you know, look at his reaction. You can see, what's David Moyes supposed to say? OK, then thanks, yeah. No, you don't get that wrong. You shouldn't get that wrong.
To counter that, did West Ham not get the rub of the green in the first half from where that free kick was taken from when they scored their second goal, perhaps? Well,
the thing is, I think that you say, did it get the rub of the green? The ball wasn't moving. The ball was actually further back to where it was, so was it an advantage? If they put it back to where it was, it don't make any difference, 2 yards. Yes, they could have stopped it, but they didn't.
It'd be interesting if Mikel Arteta says anything about that, because let's not forget the bad professionalism from the Arsenal players. They all turned their back. But I think a lot of them was waiting for the ball to be placed, the referee to mark it and then march out to 10 yards. They all turned their back on it.
Because they weren't quite ready for it, were they?
And Jesse Lingard went boom. And the keepers fell all over it, as it's a terrible goal.
And we'll get back to the first half action in a short...
The appreciation of the pass for Pepe to be able to not touch or do anything, just get it in. And that is what you need. Somebody with that kind of composure and that area of the field is going to give you that kind of quality.
Yeah. So let's try and make sense of this, because at half-time when Arsenal were 3-1 down, you quite rightly mentioned the fact that they were in Europe midweek. 5 of the same starters featured in that 11 today. But they turned that on its head in many respects, didn't they, by completing that comeback?
Yeah, simply because they had no choice. Otherwise, it could have been very embarrassing. Could you imagine if they carried on playing...
Yeah, but having a choice is one thing, and allowing fatigue to set in is another.
Yeah, but you say allowing fatigue to set in, but we saw in the second half that that didn't have nothing to do with anything in the end. You have to start the game like that. You know, that's why he rested some players. That's why they come in, because if you're a top team mentally, you have to be prepared for that. It's not a case of, oh, you let fatigue. Fatigue is there. And that is why they changed the team around, so they could bring someone in so it can help you to offload the fatigue, and so you've got players who are going to help you. They just didn't start well in the first half. The second half, they showed the same players. Like you say, I reckon after 10 minutes, you can say, well, we're going to take some off. We're going to take you off in 10 minutes if you don't. All of a sudden, everybody started to play. Yeah. You can find that. That's in you. If you're getting tired, then the boss will take you off. But you can't start like that. It's terrible, terrible mentality.
And will the players be in that Arsenal dressing room right now thinking that's more than just a point?
Yeah, and I think they'll be kicking themselves because of the way they started. And then on the same side of it, West Ham players will be sitting there thinking, we were 3 up. And was it a consequence of West Ham dropping off and Arsenal getting into the game again? And as we're saying, we keep talking about the boy Odegaard. He started to run the show, and he was getting a lot of space and a lot of time, and he made West Ham pay.
Yeah.
Well, what did Mikel Arteta make of it all? Let's hear from the Arsenal boss.
Well, Mikel, a very eventful game. How did you see it?
Well, I'm very disappointed because I cannot accept my team to play the way we did for certain periods in the first half, the goals that we conceded, because what I expect is the team to play the level that we showed afterwards, which we played incredibly well. We should have scored 6 or 7 goals. But we are all the time on the verge because we have 2 phases. And the first phase is about giving goals to the opponent and not doing what we have to do, and it's not good enough.
Alexander Lacazette came out afterwards and said that they didn't respect the game plan. Your players didn't respect it. How frustrating is it for you that you know they can play to a high level, but they don't?
I don't know. The first goal, it can happen. It's a really good combination. They do that. They play that channel ball. There is 2 actions. They have players in the box. It's got a brilliant goal. It's fine. Up to that, it's fine. The way we consider the second one is unacceptable. The third goal is unacceptable. And we still give them one more after the throw-in in the last there. We give them the throw-in and they hit the post. And it's too much margins because then you have to score 6 every game. For the rest, the attitude, the desire that we showed, and the togetherness that we showed, because at 3-0 it's really difficult to do what we've done. But I have no doubts because we talked about it, and I can see every day the energy and the cohesion that the players have. And we get it really close to winning. I think we deserve to win it at the end. But the first pass really worries me.
There were moments as well in that first 30 minutes where the goals were conceded and the energy wasn't there. How do you explain the moments where they switched off, especially for the free kick?
Unacceptable, because we talked about that all the time, but it happens. I don't know if it's hangover from Europe, tired, you lose your focus, the game is taking over because you are losing. I don't know what it is. It wasn't only 1 or 2 players, there were more that switched off on the case. So we have to correct that dramatically, quickly.
Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang made his way back into the starting lineup today. He looked slightly uncomfortable on the right to begin with. In hindsight, is that something that you wanted to address? He did switch back?
Well, with the way we wanted to play, it made all the sense for him to play there. But obviously, we didn't have the ball, we didn't win any duels, everything it was long ball, second ball, and it wasn't our game. And then he could not have any influence in the game. When we started to play a little bit, I decided to switch them because as well we were having some issues on that side defensive-wise, and we were more stable. Not because of this, because we started to do what we had to do.
Those positives that you talk about, you said the mentality to get back into the game when you are 3-0 down. Also, one of them, Chambers, on the right-hand side, he was described by Jamie Carragher as Cafu-like.
No, he was really good. He's been training really well. It's a player that gives us something else. He gives us some height as well in the back line, which we need with the team that we have at the moment. And he was superb. He was really efficient in the final third as well. So I think he had a great performance.
Thank you, Mikel.